Hello guys, we have reached the day 14, September 15 of this 30-day quiz challenge. So we have been doing various current affairs, and then yesterday we did geography maps, and today we will be doing based on polity. So polity also we have picked up from the polity full test and not from the polity regular test. So it will have more things which is not from Lakshmikant, and that is what UPSC is asking also these days. So we'll see how it goes. And this is all part of pack 1, as I told, and it will be also part of the polity test pack 6. Okay, here 10 polity tests is there, where 7 are based on Lakshmikant textbook with page number references, and then 8, 9, 10 are based on the UPSC syllabus. Okay, so in pack 6 and pack 1 you can get these things, questions which we are discussing today. So please revise it if you are my student. Okay, you will already have the PDF with you, and this one is being appreciated by most of the students. So please go and watch this, because this will help you score at least 10 to 20 marks extra in your prelims on October 4. Okay, like this many tips I gave you throughout the 1 year, but I don't know how many students watched it. Okay, because the very serious aspirants will watch it, others will not take the video seriously, and you will watch something else which is irrelevant. Okay, you are more bothered about lectures and spectrum and Lakshmikant, and you do that again and again. I'm not telling it is bad, but when we tell you some certain tips to clear the exam, that has to be watched. Okay, so this is one of that video. Part 2 of this will come in next 2 days. So please watch this before I upload that. And then the 2021 batch 3 we announced because of the huge demand from students. So batch 1 and batch 2 is happening, and batch 3 will start on October 1. So you can freshly start from scratch. Okay, meaning you don't know anything now, still you can start from scratch. That is how this is designed. So watch this episode video where I'm explaining day by day, hour by hour timetable of what you need to do till next year June. Okay, and this is a glimpse of the cover page of my batch 3 test series, prelims test series thing. So it will go from October 1 to June 11. Actually June 8th exam will get over, then 3 days we'll be doing some previous year papers. So that is how it will go. And then that entire thing in the video, it is there, so I don't want to repeat it, but this is something which has been tried and tested by the most serious aspirants since last 4 years. Okay, so if you are also one of that serious aspirant, please get back, else we don't want you to come and join. Okay, and in live chat please try answering, because students, very few students do that, and I am sure that they will 99% clear the prelims, but others please participate. Okay, this is done for you and it's completely free of cost. Which of the following are true about contempt of court in India? It is mentioned in the Constitution of India. Its provisions are mentioned in the Constitution of India. It has statutory backing in India. The period for initiating contempt proceedings is of 1 year from the date on which the contempt is alleged to have been committed. So hope for serious aspirants is a very easy question, because in Lakshmikant also it's given contempt of court. So here the second statement is wrong, because the provisions are not mentioned in the Constitution of India. The provisions later they made an act called Contempt of Court Act 1971, and in that all the provisions are mentioned. So because of that reason, that is false. Remaining all the things are true. Okay, and you can pause this, because as I told, as the episodes progress, we will not sit and read all these things because it will take more time, and I don't want to waste your time. So you can pause this and read this explanation. Okay, answer is 1, 3 and 4. Which of the following are true about Gram Nyayalis? They have the powers of civil courts but not of criminal courts. The Nyayadhikaris who preside over Gram Nyalai are appointed by the state government in consultation with the High Court. This will again be an easy question for serious aspirant, because UPSC already asked 2 times about detailed provisions on Gram Nyayalaya, so you have to know this. Okay, so here it has both civil and criminal. Okay, if you see whatever I've highlighted, I will show you powers of both civil and criminal court. Okay, and the appointment is done by state government in consultation with High Court. So it's a detailed explanation with the news item, so that is how my students will get everything in detail. Okay, so this is the difference between a Lakshmikant test and a non-Lakshmikant test. Okay, when we are giving Lakshmikant test, instead of this much detailing, we will give you the page number and paragraph number, so that you can immediately keep the Lakshmikant beside you and then read that exact paragraph. So through our 7 test, we are making you read Lakshmikant 2-3 times. Okay, but when it comes to test number 8, 9, 10, if you see here, polity full test written here, full test 2. So in those cases, we will give explanations, because it is not based on Lakshmikant. Okay, it can be having some content which is based on current affair item. Okay, so that is the detailing which we give. Which of the following is false with respect to parliamentary committees? Okay, so ethics committee was formed in 1997 in Lok Sabha and in Rajya Sabha in 2000. Committees on Empowerment of Women is a joint committee set up in 1997 of 30 members, okay, with 20 LS and 10 Rajya Sabha. Committee on Absence of Members is a special committee of 15 members found in Lok Sabha only. Then Committee on Welfare of SC and ST is a joint committee with 30 members. Okay, if you are never studied your Lakshmikant, then you will never understand what is the meaning of this special committee, joint committee and all. So this question is only for the serious aspirants. This question, most of you will think it's very factual, it is very like difficult to solve these things and all, but UPSC have asked detailed questions about ethics committee, then about subordinate committee on legislature. Okay, that was the one which was asked in 2018. Okay, they gave the description of the committee and they asked you to identify which committee it is. Okay, so that means you have to know the description, the features. So without knowing the features, you will not be able to answer. So here in one question, I am giving you 4 committees. Okay, and we have a detailed revision chart where all the things, I think 6-7 pages of Lakshmikant, I have put it in one single table and given to you. So please eat it that you by heart, because a question is expected on parliamentary committee every year. Okay, so here asking for false, and only thing I have tweaked it the first statement. Okay, it's actually usually every committee will start in Lok Sabha first and then later they will introduce in Rajya Sabha, but ethics committee is something where it was first introduced in Rajya Sabha in 1997 and then only Lok Sabha it was created. So that is how you can remember ethics committee was like that, and that is why this is wrong. And this is taken from Lakshmikant 4th edition, page 23.8. So you have to simply go and read that chapter, that particular page, and you will get the detailed explanation. And more details are here. Committees on private member bills also present in LS only. Also means here if you see, absence of members is there in Lok Sabha only. Same way, private member bills is in Lok Sabha only. So by heart it now itself, absence of members and private member bills only in Lok Sabha. Then rules committee has 15 members in Lok Sabha but 6 members in Rajya Sabha. Okay, so usually everywhere you will learn 20, 10, 15, 10 and all. This is something where number is like this, 15 and 6. Okay, so that is why it's given separately, rules committee. And committee for office of profit is a joint committee with 15 members, 10 LS and 5 RS. So if you see, this is a joint committee. This committee on welfare is a joint committee, and this committee of empowerment of women is a joint committee. Okay, so women, welfare, office of profit, all these are joint committees for both LS and RS together. Okay, and again, glimpse of the table. There's one table where almost everything is there. Okay, standing committees, departmental committee, business advisory committee. So whether it is there in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha or both places, all those kind of things I have explained here. Okay. So you are absent in Rajya Sabha committee, this one, committee on private bills, it is absent in Rajya Sabha. In Rajya Sabha, the task is done by the business advisory committee, which is this one. Okay, that is there in both houses. But that way I have given everything. UPSC statement was actually this thing. If you see this one, this committee examines the powers to make regulations, laws, etc. This is the exact statement which UPSC asked and asked you to identify the committee, and they gave 4 names of committee in the options, and the answer was this one, committee on subordinate legislature. That is why I am telling, please do the Lakshmikant and do my revision chart. You will get all the questions solved in polity. Now, which of the following came into existence by the 91st Amendment 2003? The number of ministers in Parliament cannot exceed 15% of the Lok Sabha strength. The number of ministers in state legislature cannot exceed 15% of state assembly strength. The number of ministers in Delhi Assembly cannot exceed 10% of Delhi Assembly strength. The number of ministers in state legislature should not be less than 12. This again you will feel factual, but again it is asking just for the provisions of 91st Amendment, and also if you know the basics of Delhi, how Delhi Assembly was formed, by which Amendment Act it was formed, and how the ministers are there, number of ministers including Kejriwal, how many ministers are there, it's a very easy question. Okay, and one more thing, all these 4 are true, but this question demands only the things which is coming under 91st Amendment. Because of that, the third statement will be false, because the Delhi Assembly Ministry was not made by that act. It was made by the 69th Constitutional Amendment Act in 1991. Okay, when Delhi was designated as a National Capital Territory. Okay, Article 239 AA. So Delhi Assembly has 70 members. So including Chief Minister, they have 7 ministers. So 10% factor is correct only. The statement is correct, but it is not under the existence of this thing. It came long before this. So that is why third statement is wrong and all the other 3 are true. Okay, in a state legislature, you will have at least 12 ministers should be there, but the maximum number of ministers should be 15% of the assembly strength. The assembly strength, you will know, it will differ from state to state. And parliament, if it is like that 550 strength of this thing, 15% can be the ministers. You can go and count how many ministers are there in our country right now, and that will be always less than 15% of the Lok Sabha strength. Which of the following are true about National Human Rights Commission, of which question is expected this year? It was initially set up as a statutory body, but later given constitutional status. The original act which set up NHRC mentions that NHRC chairman can be either a retired Chief Justice of India or a judge of Supreme Court. So what kind of body it is and who is its chairman? So here both will be incorrect. Why? Because it is still a statutory body only, but 2019 a bill has been passed to make lot of changes, drastic changes is happening in NHRC. Okay, because it was called a toothless tiger and many criticism was there. We have been studying, and even mains question came about the same thing, like NHRC is a toothless tiger, comment on that. So they have bought a bill, and that bill there are many changes, and the biggest change is the chairman itself. So if you see, I have given like this, okay, present act, new bill, present act, new bill. For students' understanding, I have given that also, so that the first act when it came in 1993, it was like this. The person who has been Chief Justice of Supreme Court can only be the chairman. But according to new bill, a judge also can be. Okay, so that is a change, and that is a question which is also. Original act is a wrong statement. It is a new act which is doing. And everywhere it has members has changed, other members are changed, chairman of state human rights is changed, and term of office is like again reduced. Then if you Secretary General powers have increased, Union Territories, Delhi will be under NHRC, other duties can be made under SHRC by center. So like this, they have given everything from PRS website only I have taken, and every time it will get updated. So this link is given so that you can go and click on that and you can read the latest versions also. Okay, so this is how detailed it is. It will be there in the Current Affair magazine also because it was in news in 2019, but Polity Test also covered it in detail. Which of the following are true? Constitution of India declares Supreme Court to be a court of record. For contempt of court, Supreme Court can punish someone with simple imprisonment but not with a monetary fine. This again is basic Lakshmikant. It's given in Lakshmikant. So it's one only. Constitution of India declares Supreme Court as a court of record. That is correct. And with that, they have two powers. One is the judgments, proceedings, and act of Supreme Court are recorded for perpetual memory and testimony. These records are admitted to be of evidentiary value and cannot be questioned when produced before any court. Okay, Supreme Court documents. Then they are recognized as legal precedents and legal references. So these all are true statements, okay, under this provision. And it's mentioned in the Constitution under Article 129. And the other one is false because it has power to punish for contempt of court either in simple imprisonment or up to 6 months or with a fine up to 2,000 or with both. So this thing. It is like monetary fine is also allowed. So that is why statement 2 is wrong. With a simple majority, Parliament can amend Article 168 and add new state names to it. When is it done? Okay, like article is like we can add state names for different reasons. So when is this Article 168 used? When a new state is found by internal redrawing of Indian map, when a new state joins India from an external country, when a state passes a resolution to give lawmaking powers to Parliament on any state subject, when Legislative Council is created in addition to Legislative Assembly in a state. So what happens in a state that Parliament has to add that state name to a particular list under Article 168? So this is again a current affair item. So Article 168, UPSC is every year asking provisions of at least one article since last 4-5 years. So you have to know the articles which are in news. So whenever a legislative council is added or deleted, okay, you know, like many states request it every now and then. Even Jammu and Kashmir now doesn't have a legislative council. So when such things happen, the state list which is there in a particular article has to be altered. Okay, there is a list which has all the name of states. So if you see, this Article 168, this is how it is worded. Okay, for every state there shall be a legislature which shall consist of a governor, and in the states of these things has two houses. Okay, the council and the this thing. If you see, two houses of legislative state, one shall be known as the legislative council and another legislative assembly. So whenever this is changed, this list has to be altered, right? The constitution has to be amended. So it's not like with big amending powers and all, you can do it with simple majority. So the list has to be changed. Now if you see, Jammu and Kashmir name is removed. Same way, Andhra has actually, if you see, this is the 6 states which it has, and Jammu and Kashmir does not have, and Andhra has requested it. Okay, Andhra, first the state will pass a resolution, there is a process to it, they will pass a resolution with 2/3 majority, then it will go to Parliament, then Parliament has to approve by simple majority, and then they have to change the list. Okay, so that is how the process. So now if Andhra's thing is done, again this article will be changed and here Andhra's name will be removed. Okay, so here answer is option D. Whenever legislative council is added or deleted, this list has to be altered. Which of the following is true about Lokpal inquiry on the PM? PM has been exempted from inquiry if the allegations are related to international relation, public order, internal security, etc. Then inquiry on PM has to be recorded in camera, and if allegations are dismissed, the record should not be published anywhere. So Lokpal is also important because in the last few years questions were expected, but UPSC have still now not asked a very detailed question on it. Okay, because it is now implemented in the country, they can ask anything about it. So here both the statements are true. It does not allow Lokpal inquiry against PM if the allegations related to any of these. Okay, even atomic energy, space, all these things. And complaints against PM are not probed unless the full Lokpal bench considers the initiation of inquiry, and at least 2 by 3 members should approve it. Okay, so everyone should initiate it and 2 by 3 should approve it. Only then complaints can be registered, and then such an inquiry against PM to be held in camera, and if Lokpal comes to a conclusion that the complaint deserves to be dismissed, the records of the inquiry are not to be published. Okay, so only if it is valid it can be published, not like simply run in the news channel or simply make a big news item out of it. Okay, so both the statements are true. Now, which of the following are true? A person in prison in India is eligible to vote as per the Representation of People Act 1951. A person in preventive detention is not eligible to vote as per the same act. So this again in the Lakshmikant it will be there wherever you study Representation of People Act. Else you can download the PDF and read. Okay, there is Act 51, there is Act 50, and there is a Delimitation Act 52. So these are acts which you are expected to study because in mains you will have to write them also. So here both of them are false because it has been reversed. Okay, a person in preventive detention is not eligible is a wrong statement. Actually, he can vote. Okay, but a person in prison cannot vote as per the clauses in this particular act. So this is the screenshot of the act which is taken from again that indianqanun.com. That is a website from where I take all the clauses. So here if you see can vote in prisons but can't vote in prisons but can vote in preventive detention. Okay, and it's mentioned here on this point number 5 also I think. Okay, see, no person shall vote if person is in prison, but exception is given here. Okay, not apply if is like in preventive detention. Last question, which of the following are true about plurality voting? Okay, each voter gets only one vote. Then the candidate who gets highest vote wins the election. So these kind of questions, what happens is UPSC students, when they read the statement, they will think like the candidate who gets highest vote wins the election. That is actually the first past the post system, which already UPSC have asked in 2018. So how can it be plurality voting? But that is where UPSC plays the trick. Actually, plurality voting is the same only. Okay, that is just a different name for this first past system. So statement 2 is true and 1 is also true. So it's just the basic voting which happens in India, but it has a different name, and the Hindu, Indian Express, and all were quoting this plurality voting, plurality voting. So whenever that comes, UPSC has this habit of taking it and confusing you with such options. Okay, so it is just the another name of first past the post system. Okay, so hope your studies are going fine. Any enrollment you need, you can contact me in WhatsApp. And I want only the best students to come, because people who buy things from different institutes and then pile it up, you are not even considered as a student by me. Okay, I need only the best students who are studying day and night, has given their full 1 year, and even if they fail, they will not regret it because they have done every effort and they will clear easily in 2021. So such people, please contact me. Others, please stay away from this channel. So I'll come up with the next episode tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day.